Good morning, everyone. Dan with Senior E-Bike Nation. Glad you guys are following along today. We're going to be doing a 30-mile ride today. We'll be taking the Cyrusher Kommoda, my 20-inch fat tire bike. So haven't had it out in about a week, so we're going to get it out, and I will see you on the trail. Good morning, everyone. This is Dan with Senior E-Bike Nation. This is video number 2 of our ride today. This is Wednesday morning, June the 14th, and we're doing a 30-mile ride today. This is the second segment of the video. And we'll just be talking about life and things that's going on as far as my e-bike channel. The channel is certainly picking up steam. I'm getting more subscribers every day. And I've certainly got a broader audience as far as age across the spectrum, and I attribute that all to Caleb. He's only 18 years old, just had his birthday yesterday, and he has really brought some younger viewers to my channel. I think it's had an impact on it for sure. Again, we're going to talk about safety on these things again, because a lot more people want to see and hear things about safety, and especially for us seniors, because safety is right up there with dependability of the bike that you're riding. Both of those factors are very important, especially to seniors. But the first and foremost thing I want to talk about, and I don't see enough bike channels doing this, and I've mentioned this several times before on my videos, there are so many bike channels, and there's only a couple out there that do stop at these stop signs. Now, for instance, this stop sign I just stopped at, there is nobody absolutely coming either way. But I make it a practice to stop at every stop sign. You wouldn't do that on the road with an e-bike, probably. Well, I think you will. Or you wouldn't do that in a car for sure. You wouldn't roll to a stop and just keep on going. You typically will stop at that stop sign or stop light. So I think it's very important that and I make it a practice now, unless it's really where my battery's being degraded, I may roll through a few stop signs, or if it's raining hard or something like that, that's one thing. But to just get out there and abandon the laws is just not cool. That's why people on the bike trail don't like e-bikes on there, for that matter, because they don't respect the laws and they don't respect other people. As you can see, when I ride by somebody, I always say on your left. That's just important to do. So how many miles you getting in this week? Sorry? How many miles you getting in this week? You are losing weight, I can tell.
I hope so.
You are. I mean, you're thinning, you're trimming down. That's what I need to get out and walk.
Or I need to get a bike.
You know what? A lot of times when I review these things, I'm getting bikes in quite often. I'm gonna keep you in mind because I sell these things at a heavily reduced price.
How much for?
This one, I'm gonna keep. This is one of my original ones. This was a $2,200 bike. If I got a $2,200 bike, I would probably discount that to about $1,100 for somebody that's really looking for a dependable e-bike. So yeah, I'm going to keep you in mind. I mean,
I wouldn't get the exercise I get.
You're not. I mean, I do burn 1,000 calories on these 30-mile rides, but not like when you're walking. If I didn't have bone on my knees, I'd be walking.
Right.
I love to walk. But anyway, you know, I get these in. I'm getting a scooter in, I think, for too terribly long.
I've seen a lot of those.
This company wants me to review this scooter. It'll do 20 mile an hour.
No shit. I've seen. Sorry.
That's okay. No, go ahead.
I mean, I've seen them. And those skateboards. I mean, they're blowing by me.
Well, this is kind of like a skateboard. It's kind of a mix between a scooter and a skateboard. But it'll do 20 mile an hour.
Yeah. Well, these skateboards aren't far from it. I mean, they're doing every bit of 15. If
I
not
know.
more, you know.
But anyway, I mean, I'm glad to see you again today. You're looking good. I mean, you are really,
Thank you,
you're
sir.
firming up.
I'm trying.
You're putting in a lot of walking, aren't you?
And squats. I load this baby up with weight, and I
Do you really?
I like at 190 right now. I got 10 more, and I'll have 200 squats in.
Oh my, so that's the same as doing squats by having that on your back. Kind of.
I don't know. It's probably making me shorter, you know? All that.
It's shrinking you down.
Yeah, probably.
Is it having any problem with your back carrying it like that, or is it just evenly distributed?
Sometimes I wake up and I'll be like,
Oh, that hurts.
yeah, that's probably not good for me, but
Yeah, but I see you all the time, and I, again, you're looking good.
Well,
just
thanks,
keep
sir.
on doing it.
thank you. You too.
Have a good day, sir. Dan. Yes, I almost forgot it. There's a guy I see walking all the time on the trail. That was an interesting little video there for him. He puts weights in the back of his backpack so he can walk like he's doing squats. I'm guessing he's probably 55 maybe. I'm not sure. I'm not a real good judge of age. I'm saying 50 to 55 he might be. But boy, he's healthy. I've seen him drop probably 20 pounds since I've been riding in a year. Just by walking these trails all day long, he does this. So yeah. I highly encourage, for seniors especially, to get out and do these things. These bikes are so much fun to ride. And you don't have to put a whole lot of effort in it with these pedal assists that you have on this bike. So I don't know how much I can encourage people to ride. Get out and see nature and enjoy yourself. This is what seniors should be doing in their senior years. Not just be sitting down eating a bowl of potato chips and watching TV. So getting back to the safety, if there's somebody walking on the trail and I'm coming up on them, I always either say on your left or hit my horn. And don't do it as you're passing them. Do it a little bit in advance so they can recognize that you are coming. And another thing you got to be really careful of is little kids. Because anytime you holler on your left, they automatically go to their left for some reason. I've seen that happen time and time again. So I am really careful around little kids on the trail with their parents. And of course, items you definitely need to carry is your cell phone is first and foremost very important. River's up today, so I know we got quite a bit of rain. I hope the trail's not closed up here. Once it goes this underpass up here, sometimes it rains so much that the river overfloods and can't get by the trail, so we'll see when we get up here. Yeah, and if you've got your phone with you like I do here, as you can see, you want to have an app like a Strava app or one of those. So not only will that phone track your GPS, that Strava app or other bike apps will track that for you. So when I start a ride, I hit that Strava app to start, and it will locate me where I'm at. And what's interesting, when I start out, the first quarter mile, it does not dictate where you're coming from, and the last quarter mile the same way, and that's for safety reasons, so people can't locate you right back to where you live or where you're coming from. Trail's clear today, that's good. No water under the bridge, no pun intended. But yeah, if you get hurt on the trail or whatever, that can alert 911 exactly where you're at. Your family, whoever you tie into that text, they know where you're at. My wife follows my Strava app all the time. sometimes when Caleb and I are riding the city ride or downtown, we're going all kinds of different directions, and she said it looks like a jigsaw puzzle time we get done. So I told her occasionally that'll happen when we're riding. We'll just see something interesting and we'll ride over to it, and we're not really going anywhere particular, we're just riding around. And that's what's so much fun about these bikes. I mean, I am so excited about my e-bikes and the lifestyle that I'm living now by getting out and riding these things. Here again, here's a stop sign that absolutely nobody is coming, but I'm going to stop at these things. I highly encourage other bike channels out there, if you're going to ride, stop at these stop signs. Now, I've got one channel, and I won't mention his name. He's got knee problems and leg problems and all that, and he really says he has a hard time stopping and all of that. He may have a couple issues with balance, I'm not sure. He's got a great bike channel. Some of you know who I'm probably talking about. But I highly recommend that we follow these safety laws. And I tell people on my channel, always see your doctor before you take on an exercise regimen, something like e-biking. Because there are risks involved when you're riding these things. It's like anything else. When you're moving 20 miles an hour, which I am right now, you got to have your head on a swivel and always remember situational awareness. Here's another stop sign. They actually have the gate open on this one. Sometimes it's closed. Absolutely nobody coming. I see people flying through these things, don't even begin to slow down. And I'm not on this thing to degrade other bike channels that they do this. You know, good for them as far as their bike channel, and I wish them prosperity, obviously. But you know, if we're going to preach safety, we better be practicing safety. Now, this next stop sign, I'll kind of point my camera to the right. You're going to see that the gates are completely closed into this. It's a dragway is what it is. It's a place for cars to get out and run on the weekend. But if it's like normal, both of these gates are completely shut, and they are. So I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. This stop sign, most people would blow through this, but as you can see, that gate is completely closed, and there's not really a whole lot of reason to stop at this, except it's a stop sign. So I'm trying to get a point across about that. Let's talk about other safety issues. What do you carry on a bike ride? Well, first and foremost, I have a battery-operated portable bicycle pump that I carry, and I can put these some down in the description box if you guys want to know where I purchased this stuff. And some of it, a lot of it's from Amazon, some of it's from other sources. Some of the things that I review I get for free, like bike helmets, bike seats, I get them to review for free. So yeah, but anything I purchase, but that's that's pretty important to carry that pump. Carry patch kits with you on your bike. Would not hurt to carry a can of bicycle fix-a-flat in an emergency, especially if you get a flat tire on the rear. That's pretty difficult to get off on these e-bikes. It's got a rear hub motor. So that'd be something that would be important to carry. And there are people coming at this stop sign. This is usually a pretty busy road here, and because you've also got traffic coming from an angle this other direction. So yeah, this is one you definitely wouldn't want to stop out and not try to roll through it. We got about 3 miles to go. So a couple other items I'd want you to carry. Any kind of, if you carry a bag in the back or panniers on your bike, that you're going to want to carry some kind of first aid equipment, rather be band-aids to gauze to cream for burns or whatever, because if you fall off your bike and you get a scrape on the knee and it's bleeding, you're going to want to either put a band-aid on that or cover that up with gauze with some ointments on there so you don't get an infection. And that's something you probably want to carry. Sometimes if I ride, I'll carry an extra, especially when I was on my regular bike, I carried extra inner tubes with me as well. Another thing you might want to carry after you fix a flat is CO2 cartridges to fill that tire up with. That makes it a lot easier if you don't have a bike pump with you. And always be ready to help others. That's probably one of the most important things that I am always looking out for. If somebody's broke down on the trail and they ain't nobody there to help them, stop and see what you can do to help them. Doesn't take 5 minutes out of your day. It may take a half hour to help him fix a flat or whatever. But you may have with you what he doesn't have to help him fix a flat tire. Or some hex wrenches that you carry. That's another thing you always want to carry, is get you a little thing of hex wrenches that you can either carry in your bag or and have different kind of millimeters on those hex wrenches so you can tighten parts down on your bike, handlebars. Sometimes your pedal arm may come loose that you need to tighten that down with your chain ring. I always carry a couple energy bars with me. I normally will carry coffee an awful lot, but sometimes when it's really hot, I'll carry a sports drink with me. As you can see, my coffee in this holder down here. But you want to stay hydrated when you're out here as well. Now, as you can see, there's not a whole lot of traffic on the bike trail today. So I don't have to have situational awareness as much as I do when I'm riding on the road. And let's talk about road safety, because that's one of those things, that's a different animal when you're out riding on a road versus a bike trail. It can be very dangerous. Typically, I will ride a sidewalk that's designated for e-bikes or wide enough to where you can ride, that's legal. And I always try to find as many bike lanes as I can find on a road and stay on those as well. But for the most part, as I mentioned earlier, you have to have situational awareness and keep your head on a swivel when you're on a bike on the road. I don't care if it's an e-bike or a regular bike. There are so many things can happen in an instant, can change your life. I'll mention one little thing that happened to me about a month ago. I was off my bike getting ready to cross this crosswalk that the walk signal had already changed a good 2 seconds. And I always look to my left or my right when I'm crossing an intersection. Even in my car, if I got a green light and it just turned green, I'm going to look both ways before I proceed in that car. And most people do that. But as I was getting ready to cross this stoplight, and I was in the crosswalk, walking my bike, which you're supposed to anyway, you're not supposed to ride across the crosswalk. There is a car that come flying through there, blew the red light. If I would have crossed at that exact moment that I was going to, but I looked left, I'd have been hit by a car about 50 miles an hour. So that's some of the stuff that I talk about, where you got to keep your head on a swivel at all times. just make sure that you're in the clear. Or if you're riding along a road, sometimes I carry a rear view camera on one of my bikes. If I'm going to do a lot of heavy road riding, I'll carry my bike. I'll ride my bike that I have the rear view camera mounted on it, where I can see things that are behind me without having to look in the mirror. Now, it's not the greatest tool in the world, but it also lets you know of cars that are approaching you as well. So that's something I'll do. Always use your hand and arm signals when you're turning. Make sure those vehicles know what you're doing. Here's a guy right here that I'm coming up on, shakes his head every time he sees me on this e-bike. Morning.
Yeah.
See what I mean right there? He hollers out a cuss word at me because I went by him on the right. Now I know he's seen me coming up at that stop sign where he was at. That guy is just, I'll tell you, I pray for him. He's got some grumpy issues. Every time when I come the other direction into him, he shakes his head to the left, to the right. That I'm not supposed to be on this bike trail, I guess. I try to be as courteous as I can to him. There again, situational awareness. Now, I'm going to talk about defense when you're out on these things. I do carry self-defense when I'm riding. Absolutely. I'm a CCW carrier, which in Ohio now anybody can carry, which I think should have been changed years ago. Should not have to have a concealed carry weapon or concealed carry license. But that's my viewpoint on that, and I'll get some haters come on and talk about that as well. But if you're a woman riding an e-bike, you may want to carry some mace with you or something, or any kind of self-defense to where you can fend somebody off if they get aggressive with you. For that matter, anybody that's riding an e-bike or riding a bike. We're almost to our halfway point up here. When I get off the bike, I'm going to do a little bit of review on this Cyrusher Kommoda for you, for the ones that have not seen it. I do have a video back in November where I got like 192,000 views on this one video. That was pretty impressive, I thought. But we'll talk about the Kommoda and what I think after a year riding this thing, and probably 1,700 miles that I've logged on the bike. I only had one minor issue, and that was due to a wreck that Caleb had. I had to get a couple issues fixed on the bike. But as far as dependability, the bike has been extremely dependable. Cyrusher really did a good job when they built this 20-inch fat tire bike. It's a very easy bike to get off and on. It's like the Cyrusher Ovia is the same way. It's a step through 20 inch as well. But these bikes have front and rear suspension, which is a very comfortable ride. Okay, we're almost to our almost 13 miles, and we're down to about 59% on the battery, which is about average. In the winter time, that may be down to about 45% in the dead of winter on this same ride because of the colder weather. There's definitely going to be battery degradation. So yeah, it's about where it should be this far into the ride. So once I get up here, I'll be getting off the bike, I'll be reviewing it, tell you about it, and then we'll change the battery out as well. This is place is called Xenia Station. This is kind of a hub for anywhere you want to go in Ohio. You can go all 4 directions from this hub. So yeah, this is a central bike hub here, and this is really about a 15-mile marker for me. We're only showing 12.32 on the Strava app, and that's because I had to avoid the construction area. So it shortened the ride about 1.5 miles to 2 miles, so I'm okay with that. But yeah, let me jump off his bike and let's talk a little bit about it. Told you I drink a lot of coffee. This Yeti cup, let me talk about that real quick. This thing has bounced on the trail 2 to 3 times. It's a beast of a cup. I mean, it has not broke the lid. It's got a magnet up here, but I'll tell you, this cup is it'll take some punishment now. So let's talk a little bit about the Cyrusher Kommoda. It is a 20-inch step-through fat tire bike. Now it has got front and rear suspension, as you can see here, and they got lockouts where you can adjust these front suspension here as well. And back here they have they changed this design on the Ovia they sent me. This has got a rear shock on it, but I tell you, the shock they sent me on the Cyrusher Ovia has its air shock, and the air is adjustable in it too, so that was pretty cool. But anyway, let me talk a little more about this. This is got a 750 watt Bafang rear hub motor, and it's got a 7-speed Shimano shifter here. I normally stay in gear number 7 most of the time, unless I'm going up a hill and I've got a battery that's getting a little low. I'll go ahead and shift down in the gears, so get up a incline a little easier. But yeah, it's got a turning derailleur, and very easy to adjust through the gears as you're using the throttle up here. I'm sorry, the shifter. And it's also got a half twist throttle right here, and that's easier when you're coming to a stop and you want to start again. It's a little easier to come through the gears if you want to, or you can just use the throttle to get across. And it's also got a 48 volt 14 amp hour battery that sits in this down tube, and typically you just take the key and this thing opens up. Now this has been a difficult battery to get out for some reason. On the Ovia is designed a little differently where it comes out the front, but the Kommoda that they build, Cyrusher, has got this little thing you turn to the left, and this battery is supposed to pop out. But sometimes it's a struggle for me to get that out. So anyway, we'll deal with that when I get done. And also it's got a charging port down here, which is really nice place for a port. So if you don't want to take your battery out of the bike, you can do that from wherever you're charging it from. And then it has also got headlights up here that's pretty bright, and it's also got Zoom hydraulic brakes, which is a well-known hydraulic brake manufacturer. And then it has also got wire management's done very well on this bike, as you can see. There's only a couple wires that go into the light and to your hydraulic brakes up here that yeah, everything else is wrapped. It goes down into the down tube. And it's also got a very comfortable seat on it. This is the stock seat I've left on this bike. It is just very comfortable seat. And it's got a display up here where you can pedal Cisco down to off if you want to make it a little more harder, shall I say, to pedal. And you can still pedal the bike, but it's a little more difficult. Then it goes from 1, which is eco, up to 2, which is low, 3, which is normal, 4, which is high, and 5, which is power. This bike will do probably about 27 to 28 mile an hour on a flat surface, so it's got a lot of pep to it. This torque on this thing is just, on this throttle, is, as far as the e-bikes that I own, this has got more torque than any other e-bike I have, besides the Cyrusher Ovia that they sell as well. So anyway, that's a little bit about the bike itself. Very dependable. I did purchase an extra battery that I carry. Now, I did purchase their bag, the Cyrusher bag, at an aftermarket, because the other Rock Brothers bag that I had, the battery would not sit down in there. Excuse me. So with this bag, the battery sits inside the bag, which is really nice. The seat adjusts up and down to your comfort level. I did purchase this cup holder additionally, and the phone mount, I purchased this separately as well. And of course, I've got the Strava app on right now. It pauses automatically when you've come to a stop, and so far we've done about 12.32 miles. I purchased these bar end mirrors separately, and I also purchased this little bar that you put on your handlebars here, so you can carry other accessories, like if I'm filming from my GoPro camera that I want to put on a clamp mount, I can do that as well. And this handlebars are adjustable, as you can see. So yeah, this thing is a beast. This is my first e-bike that I purchased as far as a 20-inch bike goes. And one other thing I forgot to tell you, I've got an alarm that I purchased for this. It sits right here, and that's very loud, so if you have to stop and go to the restroom or whatever, you can set your alarm on there. Typically, I highly recommend you never leave an e-bike alone. I don't care if you've got rope locks, I don't care if you've got rot locks on these bikes. If somebody wants that bike, they're going to get it. So keep that in mind. The rear rack also comes standard on this bike. But typically, I will cruise along normally 20 to 22 mile an hour on this bike if I'm just cruising. And oh, it's been a lot of fun. I'm 71 years old right now, and I'll tell you what, since I retired, this has been a lot of fun for me to get out and ride these things. So anyway, if you guys got any questions, put them down in the comment section for me. See if I can answer them for you. And then we've got a lot of new videos coming out. Again, I've got a new bike coming in I'll be reviewing next week. And as soon as I can put it together, we'll be doing unboxing and assembly of that bike. And like I said, I've got this scooter company that wants to send me a scooter that'll, it's more often it's kind of between a scooter and a skateboard, but this thing will do like 20 mile an hour. So I'm hoping to hear back from them in the next couple days, so we can get arrangements and get that thing shipped. So I'll be doing that one, and any other bikes that come in, which they're starting to come in now quite a bit. So anyway, this is Dan again with Senior E-Bike Nation. Share and like. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell notification for new videos coming out. And I will see you guys on the next video.